Good evening, I'm Kumi Taguchi and welcome to the unveiling of the Australian Chamber Orchestra's 2022 season, extraordinary season coming up. We're coming to you live from Wharf 45 at Sydney's Walsh Bay Arts Precinct, an extraordinary afternoon here. I would like to start by acknowledging that the beautiful land of which they're gathering here this evening is the unceded land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We're so excited to be here on the edge of Sydney Harbour. This is a location which has been long used for storytelling, for gathering, for hanging out with friends, for drinking, for eating. So we would like to pay our respects to all Aboriginal people and Gadigal elders past, present and emerging. This is truly a milestone year for the orchestra. It's such a privilege to be part of this evening, and thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. Tonight I'm going to be joined by Richard Tognetti. You all know him, of course, the pioneering Artistic Director of the Australian Chamber Orchestra, and Richard Evans, the Australian Chamber Orchestra's Managing Director. Also joining us are the incredible musicians of the ACO. They're actually getting ready to perform for you tonight live, and they'll be giving you a special preview of what you will be listening to in 2022. It's so wonderful to bring you all together, whatever time zone you're in. If you feel like chatting, feel like leaving a comment, let us know where you're joining us from. Put something in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be here together for the next half hour or so I really hope you can just relax, ease into the evening and take some time out for yourself and be here with us here. Richard Tognetti, it is so great to see you. Richard Evans, thank you so much for being here. As well as announcing the repertoire for this season, there's also a huge announcement as well. Now, this is that you will have a permanent home in an extraordinary location. Richard Tognetti, this is Pier 23. What is going to be going on in that space? This is it.
There it is. I don't know how your depth of field is there, Kai, but that's it. And it's been how many decades long that we've been dreaming?
22 years, yeah.
And finally we emerge. We were emerging artists during the building of it, and now we're going to be emerged. By the way, what is a pioneering artist?
I don't know, that was just in the script. So.
No, you're emerged, and then eventually you become pioneering. So finally we have a home that is a public home. Before we were down 3 stories under, next to the Opera House, great location, shame about the place. It leaked and we couldn't welcome people into the place because it was private, you couldn't get there, and once you got there you wanted to leave. So now we're here, it's public, it's for everyone. I believe that you can even walk around the corridors and look at us animals in the rehearsal zoo. So we're hyperventilating with excitement.
Richard Evans, what does this move mean for the ACO as an organisation?
Look, it's kind of one of the biggest moments in our history, really. As Richard said, we've been underground for 20 years, preparing, popping up all over the world, performing.
We were the golems of the orchestral work.
But to actually have a place where we can not only prepare and that our musicians can call home, but that we can welcome people. We can have performances there, we can have workshops there, we can present other people there. It's a community space. It's completely transformative for the ACO.
And Richard Tognetti, what about the repertoire for next season? You've got a mix of classics, Bach, Mozart, and then also some really exciting works as well.
Well, of course we've got classics, Bach and Mozart. So we had the program all ready to go, and then of course we got for us it was a 3rd lockdown, because I'm from the northern beaches of Sydney, or live there at the moment, and so we had our program ready to go, and then we had to, should we say, recalibrate in order to refine the program so that we could deal with all these border closures, so that we will never cancel, never, ladies and gentlemen, we will never cancel another program. We can't do it again. We just can't do it. So the good thing out of this is that we were forced, we thought global and acted local. And so the second program, for example, is Sketches of Spain. Spain is a work by Chick Corea, who recently passed. I think he passed this year. One of the great musicians, jazz musicians, part of the third stream, so the fusion of classical and jazz. Now, I hasten to add that we are not playing jazz. We don't want to hear classical musicians playing jazz unless they can. But it's a fusion of, and so we're utilising some of the very best jazz musicians on the planet who live locally. And so it was terrific to be able to bring that to life. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time coming, but I can make a formal announcement that we do have a fairly freshly hatched principal violist in the Australian Chamber Orchestra.
Wow.
I mean, discounting these past 2 years. And Stephanie is going to play Symphonia Concertante with me in a program that will go through all borders of our nation, no matter what.
This is a national concert season.
It is. We're a national touring orchestra, and next year we get back on the stages through our great and vast land. And then we're going to play a little taste at the end, by the way. The last piece that we play in our subscription series is a celebration of American music, Americana. And you, of course, have to include the American String Quartet. It was nicknamed the American, look it up, the American by DVOŘÁK. But to start the year, we reactivate a wonderfully profound relationship between me and the ACO and James Crabb, the extraordinary classical button accordionist.
Wow.
And we've toured with James extensively. I actually found an old paper schedule from 2003 where James and I played the opening of the Rugby World Cup and then got a police escort, which we do normally.
Of course.
To take us to the airport, and then we flew to Tokyo, played a concert that night, or that afternoon actually, and then flew to Europe and did an extraordinary tour. Remember those days, Kumi?
Remember those days, and they're coming back, Richard.
Japan.
Get the passport ready. I'm actually going to send you off so you can get ready with your wonderful orchestra to perform for us very shortly. Richard Evans, this space that's going to be so exciting, I get a sense that because we're coming off the back of nearly a couple of years of locking down, not hearing live music, that what audiences are wanting, whether it's music, film, art, media, is a kind of sense of openness, seeing artists be vulnerable, seeing people be real. Authenticity seems to be an important theme around the artistic creative circles. Would you say that this space would lend itself to that?
Look, I think you're absolutely right. And one of the things our audiences like so much about the ACO is that sense of intimacy. All of our subscribers feel like they know the members of the orchestra, and indeed they do. After lockdown and the kind of home casts and people have been watching musicians really reveal something of themselves in their online programs. And Pier 23 is really going to allow us to take that to the next level. You know, we'll have a 275-seat multi-purpose concert hall, a beautiful rehearsal room with one glass wall looking out towards the bridge, which will allow the musicians to look at the bridge when they're rehearsing, but also to allow classrooms of kids and kind of adults to be able to look through the window and watch the musicians of the ACO in preparation. There's a beautiful event space, and I think that one of the things about Pier 23 is that it will allow us to present our own programs. And so there'll be recital series from musicians from the ACO. There'll be talks, there'll be kind of music education classes. Our learning and engagement program will be taken to a whole new level. The work we've been doing for very young children. We'll be having school holiday programs, touring right around Australia, just really unlocking the magic and the love of music in a really intimate way.
It sounds amazing. Thank you, Richard. And as Richard Tognetti was saying, one of the pieces that will be actually closing off the 2022 season is DVORŽÁK's American String Quartet. The ACO is now going to play the final movement of that for you. don't know if you could feel the energy coming through to you wherever you're watching this from, but to feel music around you and the energy is just extraordinary. Shivers going down the spines of everyone here. This is what you can experience next year. Thank you so much for being here. That was the final movement of DVORZÁK's American String Quartet. Thank you so much to all of you for joining. I know we've got people joining from Adelaide, Bermagui, Newcastle, Perth, so it's pretty early there, mid-afternoon for you. You are here to just get information about the 2022 season of the ACO, that performance there. We have another performance coming up for you. Now, this is incredible. The ACO next year will be having an incredible classical accordionist, James Crabb. He's going to star in the opening season next year. This is all about the tango. Many of you will be very familiar with the work that James is going to perform for you now. This is PIAZZOLLA's Irresistible Libertango. 1, 2, 3. Unbelievable. Richard, thank you so... I want to give you a hug, but I can't quite yet. A virtual hug.
A virtual hug.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you to the incredible ACO.
Well, this is the first concert we've done. Well, no, it is the first concert we've done as a group since May.
Since May.
Yeah. So we can feel your applause, and we
still
can't wait to hear it.
It's still going. We'll just let it go for a while.
And thanks to James. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Richard. This is just a preview of what is in store for you next year for the ACO's 2022 season. You can jump on the website tomorrow. That's www.aco.com.au. Tickets go on sale at 10 a.m. That's the subscription for next year. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you stay safe, well, happy, energised out in the world again. See you in the concert hall. See you soon.
Thank you.